They say the forest is peace. They say you can rest here, collect your thoughts, listen to the silence. Funny, silence has its own sound. Sometimes it sounds louder than a scream. That's exactly why I came here. I just needed to walk a bit, gather some mushrooms, get away from people, from the city, from the constant noise. I hadn't slept properly in a week. Work, problems, endless phone calls. My head was splitting from it all. The doctor said I needed rest. Nature, fresh air. He said it would help with the stress, help me think clearly again. I'd been having these panic attacks lately, waking up in the middle of the night with my heart racing, unable to breathe. Nothing seemed to help. So I thought, why not? A day in the forest, alone with my thoughts. What could go wrong? I love the forest. I love its smell, that mixture of damp earth, pine needles, and fog. But today the smell is somehow heavy, as if the air has become thicker. It presses on my chest, forces me to breathe deeper, like I'm trying to inhale through wet fabric. Every breath feels like work, like the air itself has weight. Unusually quiet. Even the birds aren't singing. Not a flutter of wings, not a distant woodpecker's tapping. Just my footsteps and my own breathing. I stop for a moment to listen. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. In all my years of hiking, I've never experienced silence like this. I walk along a narrow path between the pines. The moss crunches softly under my feet. Beside me are old, dark trees, so twisted by time that it seems as if they're watching. Their bark is black with moisture, covered with lichens that resemble frozen tears. Some trunks are so warped they look like people frozen in agony, reaching out with branch arms, mouths open in silent screams. Perfect, I think. There will be plenty of mushrooms today. I stop by an old stump. Boletes have grown on it, strong, fresh ones with shiny brown caps. I bend down, cut them with my knife, put them in the basket. My hands work mechanically, but inside something gives me no peace. Like someone is pulling a thread somewhere in my stomach, warning me that something is wrong. It's that primal instinct, buried deep in our DNA, that tells us when we're being hunted. Periodically, I look around, as if someone is watching. This gaze is physically palpable, heavy, insistent, cold. Crawls along the back of my neck, down my spine, lower. I try to ignore it, but it intensifies. The feeling grows stronger with each passing minute, until it becomes almost unbearable. The deeper I go, the darker it gets. Although just 10 minutes ago the sun was shining in my face, breaking through the treetops with golden rays. Now the sky seems to be covered with a gray film. The light becomes muted, dirty, as if filtered through many layers of old glass. The shadows stretch longer than they should, reaching toward me like fingers. The air changes. It's no longer fresh but heavy, like before a storm. The smell of damp earth transitions into something else, sweetly putrid, barely noticeable, but enough to raise alarm. It reminds me of something I can't quite place. Something from childhood, maybe some forgotten memory that makes my stomach turn. I hear it for the first time, a dull crack behind the trees, not like when a dry branch falls, but low, heavy, as if something large broke it. The sound echoes, bounces off the trunks, and it's impossible to determine where it actually comes from. Could be 10 feet away, could be 100. I freeze. The knife in my hand suddenly seems so small, almost toy-like. Useless. A deer? I try to calm myself. Or maybe a boar. Or a large branch just fell from old age. That happens all the time. Trees die, branches fall. Natural. But inside, a chill runs through me. Real animal fear. The same kind that's embedded in our genes by millions of years of evolution. That fear that says there's a predator here. Run. I pretend I didn't hear anything. I continue gathering mushrooms, but my hands are no longer confident. The knife almost slips from my palm. My fingers feel numb, clumsy. You can't show fear to the forest. They sense it here. My grandfather always said the forest is alive. It senses, it understands. And if it senses your fear, it feeds on it. I always thought it was just an old man's superstition. Now I'm not so sure. I move forward, and the smell changes. The usual aroma of pine suddenly shifts to sharp, sour, as if something is rotting nearby. The smell of carrion. I try not to think about it, but imagination already paints pictures. A bloated deer carcass, covered with flies with turned-out eye sockets. Or something worse, something that used to be human. To the left, a shadow darkens. It seems to me that someone is standing there. A tall figure between two pines, motionless, like a statue. I tell myself it's just pareidolia, the human brain's tendency to see faces and figures in random patterns. But it feels too real. I quickly turn my head. Just a tree. Simply an old, twisted trunk with growths that look like a face. But when I turn away, again that feeling of a gaze. Now it's stronger, as if someone took a step closer. I can almost feel breath on my neck. I bend down for a white mushroom, a beauty, plump with a perfect cap. Suddenly, branches crack much closer. Many branches, as if someone stepped without paying attention to what they're trampling. Heavy steps, deliberate. I straighten up sharply. My heart pounds so loudly it seems audible for several meters around. Hey, my voice treacherously trembles, breaks on the second syllable. It sounds weak, frightened, like a child's voice. No answer, only the echo of my words, breaking against the trees and returning to me distorted. Alien. The echo seems to last too long, repeating my question in a mocking tone. Don't run. It's just fantasy, I try to convince myself. Just fatigue, stress, overstrain. Your brain is playing tricks on you. You're seeing things that aren't there, hearing things that don't exist. I continue walking. My feet step faster, breathing accelerates. The basket rattles, mushrooms bounce with each step. The forest becomes heavier, darker, as if it's closing behind me. I feel it physically. The space behind me compresses, becomes impassable, as if someone is building a wall of trees and fog, blocking my way back. The path I came from is disappearing, swallowed by shadows. And then the wind begins. Strong, sharp. It tears off yellow leaves, throws them in my face. The trees groan, bend, as if trying to say something. Their groans resemble human voices. Long, painful, full of despair. I can almost make out words in that sound. Almost, but not quite. And then the wind suddenly breaks off. Sharply, as if someone turned it off. Not a breath, not a rustle. Even the leaves that were whirling in the air a second ago fall to the ground simultaneously, as if someone cut invisible threads. They land without a sound, absorbed by the moss. I stand in the middle of the forest, and around me is absolute silence. This is abnormal. In any forest, there are always sounds. Birds, insects, wind, rustling leaves, cracking branches. The forest is never absolutely silent. Even in winter, under snow, you can hear the creak of ice, snow falling from branches, a distant animal moving through the underbrush. But here, nothing, as if someone pressed the mute button on the entire world. I hear only my own breathing and something else. Breathing, raspy, low, very close, comes from the left side, somewhere behind my back. Slow, heavy, with a whistle on the exhale. In and out, steady, patient. I feel goosebumps rising on my skin. They run in waves, first on my arms, then on my back, then on my neck. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. My entire body screams danger, every cell telling me to run. Slowly, very slowly, I turn around. Nobody there, only fog creeping between the trees. The fog was far away when I entered the forest. I remember it lay low, at the foot of the mountain 3 or 4 miles away. Now it's thick and black as smoke. It moves unnaturally. It doesn't dissipate, doesn't spread out, but moves as a solid mass, like a living creature, like something that hunts. This doesn't happen, I whisper. Fog doesn't come this fast. Can't cover 3 miles against the wind in 20 minutes. It's impossible. Physics doesn't work that way. I bend down for mushrooms again, trying to pretend this doesn't bother me. But my hands shake so badly I almost cut my finger. The basket is heavy, full. Enough. Time to go home. Time to leave this place. But my gaze involuntarily slides across the ground, and I freeze. On the soil, a track. Large. Almost the length of my palm, and mine isn't small. Like a bear's paw. 5 thick fingers with claw impressions. But something's wrong. The claws are too long, curved like sickles. And the distance between the fingers is wrong, the proportions off. No bear has paws like this. 5 steps away, a second track. It's very fresh. The earth is still moist. The edges of the print are clear. No blurring. This happened a minute, maybe two ago. No more. Whatever made this track is still here. Close. Okay, I say quietly. Don't panic. Just step back slowly. Don't make sudden movements. I carefully step back, trying not to make noise. My legs buckle, breathing catches. Each step seems like an eternity. The forest watches, waits, and then in the fog, between the trees, something moves. A dark silhouette. At first it seems like a bear. Large, massive, heavy. Black fur, almost merging with the shadows. But something's wrong. The shape is too tall, proportions incorrect. It's standing, not moving. Bears don't stand like that. They don't freeze in such a pose, half bent, with head tilted to the side, as if listening. This thing, whatever it is listening to me, tracking my heartbeat, my breath, my fear. I grip the basket so hard my hands turn white. My knuckles crack from the tension. Don't look at it. Walk slowly. Don't turn your back. But don't look it in the eyes either. Just walk. That's what they say about predators. Never run. Never show fear. I turn away and walk forward. After 5 steps, another crack. Behind me, closer, much closer than before. I speed up. Blood pounds in my temples. Hands tremble. The basket rings, mushrooms jumping with each step. The cracking becomes more frequent, as if someone is following me. Not running, just walking. Slowly, confidently, without hurry. As if it knows I won't escape. As if this is a game it's played before many times and it always wins. I break into a run. My feet get tangled in roots and moss. Branches tear my clothes, whip across my face, leaving long scratches that sting and bleed. My heart thunders like an engine ready to explode. My mouth is dry, metallic taste on my tongue. My lungs burn with each breath. I look back. Nobody. Only a shadow, blurred in the fog. But it's closer, much closer than it was. The distance is shrinking. It's gaining on me. I try to calm myself. It's the forest. It's just the forest. Just a shadow. Just a play of light and fog. Just fatigue. Just stress. Just your imagination running wild. There's nothing there. Nothing real. Nothing that can hurt you. But then I hear it. A roar. Low, drawn out, muffled. Comes from the depths. From caves. From the bowels of the earth. It vibrates in my chest. Echoes in my bones. Makes my teeth ache. The sound is so deep it's almost below the range of human hearing. But I feel it in every cell of my body. This isn't wind. This is a predator. I jump back, catch on a root and fall. The basket flies from my hands. Mushrooms scatter across the ground, rolling in different directions. My knife slips from my pocket, disappears into the moss. I scrabble for it but can't find it. I'm gasping from fear, listening, eyes wide open, pupils dilated to the limits. Silence, long tense, deadly, and then heavy steps, slow, determined, deliberate. Thuds that echo in the earth vibrate under my body. Each step measured, careful, like a hunter stalking wounded prey. It's coming to me. I crawl backward, hands grabbing earth, moss, leaves. Nails dig into the soil, tear. Eyes burn from fear. Tears blur my vision. Dirt gets under my fingernails, cuts open the skin beneath. And suddenly everything goes quiet. I lie there, holding my breath. My lungs burn, but I don't dare inhale. Seconds stretch into hours. My heart hammers so hard I'm sure it will give out. And I see it. 10 meters away, a dark silhouette. It stands between the trees, motionless, like a statue from a nightmare. The shape changes. First like an animal on all fours with a hump on its back. Then like a human straightening up, rising on 2 legs. The transformation is slow, deliberate, like it wants me to see every detail. It seems to grow, straightens, becomes taller. Taller than the trees, taller than the fog, taller than reality itself. The proportions are all wrong. The limbs too long, the head too large. Everything about it screams wrong, unnatural, impossible. I blink, and the silhouette disappears into the fog. I'm afraid to even move. Breath caught. Heart pounding so hard I think my ribs will crack. Every muscle in my body is locked, frozen in terror. What was that? An animal? Person? Or something else? Something people don't talk about. Something that lives in old forests, in fogs, in darkness between trees. Something ancient, something that was here long before humans walked the earth. I gather the scattered mushrooms with trembling hands. Get up, look around. My knees won't hold, I can barely stand. The world tilts, spins. I think I might pass out. I need to get out of the forest. Right now. Immediately. This was a mistake. Coming here was a terrible mistake. But when I turn around, the path I came on is no longer there. The fog has grown, trees stand differently. There are no landmarks. As if someone rearranged the scenery while I wasn't looking. As if the rules of space don't apply here anymore. As if the forest has stopped letting me go. I stand in the forest, holding the basket, trying to understand which way to go. Calm down. Just go back the same way, I think. You remember the direction. The sun was on the left, so you need to go right. Simple navigation. You've done this 100 times. But there's no path anymore. And no sun either. The sky is covered with a solid gray shroud. No shadows to guide me. No landmarks. Nothing. I turn 360 degrees. Around me only moss, roots, and dark trees that look like twisted bodies. The pines stand so thick they create a wall, and it seems I'm in a trap. In a cage of trees and fog. The spaces between the trunks seem to narrow as I look at them, closing in. The forest has changed. It no longer looks familiar. The trees are different. The ground is different. Even the smell is different. It's not the forest I entered. Can't be, but it is. I walk forward blindly, choosing a random direction. The moss under my feet becomes thicker and thicker. It absorbs the sound of footsteps, and it seems I'm walking on clouds, or on something that's swallowing me, pulling me down into the earth. After a few minutes, I start noticing something strange. The trees are identical, as if I'm walking in a circle. The same 3 twisted pines growing in a triangle. The same rotten stump with a hollow. The same stone with moss that looks like a skull. I've seen these before. 5 minutes ago. Or was it 10? I speed up, walk faster, then break into a run. Branches hit my face, but I don't pay attention. Pain doesn't matter. Only escape matters. But everything repeats. The same trees, the same stump, the same stone. Again and again and again. As if the forest is holding me in place. As if I'm running on a treadmill and the scenery around me just moves. As if space itself has become circular, a loop I can't escape. The wind rises suddenly. Trees begin to roar, bend, crack. The sound builds. First a quiet hum, then a whistle, then the roar of a hurricane. It sounds almost like voices, like a crowd screaming in agony. And then everything breaks off, instantly, like hitting a wall. And then I see it. On a birch trunk, something is carved. The letters are deep, uneven, as if someone cut them with claws or a knife with trembling hands. The bark is peeled away, revealing white flesh underneath. Don't look back. Blood on the edges of the letters hasn't completely dried. It's dark, almost black, glistening in the dim light. I of course look back. I can't not look back. The human brain can't resist. Tell someone not to do something and it's all they can think about. The silhouette stands closer. It doesn't move, just watches. No head visible, just a dark mass where a face should be. Where eyes should be, there's only shadow, but I feel them on me. Watching, studying, enjoying. I run. Run until my legs burn, until my side stabs like a knife, until there's the taste of blood in my throat. My vision narrows to a tunnel. All I see is the path ahead, blurred by tears and exhaustion. I see a hunting cabin. It's old, abandoned, with a broken window. The door shutters on rusty hinges, banging in a wind I can't feel. The wood is rotten, covered in moss and decay. I crash inside. Dust rises in a cloud, settles on my hair, clogs my nose. Cough, gasp for air. The cabin smells of mold and something dead. Inside, a map on the wall. Old, yellowed, with moisture stains that might be water damage or might be something else. On it, zones are marked. One is red, circled several times, as if someone wanted to make sure the warning would be noticed. As if they knew people wouldn't listen otherwise. The same zone I came from. Caption in crooked letters. Don't go there. They are there. They wait. My hands shake as I approach closer. Under the inscription, something else in small letters, barely legible. If you get in, don't look back. Don't run. Don't listen to voices. Don't trust your eyes. Stay on the path. Don't stop. Don't respond if it calls your name. I find the exit on the map. For kilometers. Straight north, then left at the fork, then down to the stream. Simple. I can do this. For kilometers is nothing. I've hiked further before. I grab the map, pull it from the pins holding it to the wall. But it crumbles in my hands, so old it falls apart into pieces. The paper is like tissue, dissolving at my touch. The ink smears, the landmarks disappear. Useless. I run out of the cabin, and the silhouette is already by the window. It's looking inside. The head slowly turns, tracking me. I see its reflection in the broken glass, distorted, multiplied, as if there are many of them, as if it's everywhere at once. I run. The fog cuts into my lungs, burns, as if I'm breathing fire. The forest roars. The sound grows, becomes deafening, unbearable. I cover my ears, but it doesn't help. The sound is inside my head now. I see light ahead, an exit, a forest road, a ray of sunshine, open space, freedom, safety, home. I take the last step, and I'm standing where I started again. The circle is closed. The same 3 pines, the same stump, the same stone. Behind me, breathing, raspy, heavy, satisfied, almost pleased, like it's enjoying this. I turn around and see it. Stands very close, at arm's length. I could reach out and touch it. I don't. It's taller than any human. The shape constantly changes, morphing. Animal, human, something between them. Something that shouldn't exist. The form is fluid, like it can't decide what it wants to be, or like it's showing me all the things it could be. All the things I fear. I see its eyes. They glow with a dim yellow light, like a wolf's, but intelligent. Too intelligent. They look at me with understanding, with recognition. Like they know me, know everything about me. Every fear, every regret, every dark thought I've ever had. Feeds on fear. I understand this suddenly with absolute clarity. It doesn't want to kill me. It wants me to be afraid. Wants to feed on this feeling, absorb it, bathe in it. My terror is its nourishment. This is what it lives for, what it exists for. My mouth is dry. I can't scream, can't speak. My voice is gone, stolen by fear. It leans closer. I feel the cold emanating from it. Unnatural, grave cold, the kind that penetrates to the bones. The kind that comes from death itself. The air around it shimmers with frost. Everything goes black. The last thing I feel is its breath on my face. It smells of earth, rot, and something ancient, primordial, something that existed long before humans. Before civilization, before light, before hope, and then darkness.